Is Conte staying or is he leaving? If he is leaving, who will be the next Chelsea manager? Roundup of the international break with contract comments by both Eden Hazard and Thibaut Courtois and much more. Watch the whole video to find out about all the latest news about Chelsea Football Club. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for another episode of Chelsea Weekly. And this is just a show basically giving you all the latest news about Chelsea, really. And before getting straight into it though, it would be absolute class if you could subscribe to 100% Chelsea if you haven't already. And also hit that notification bell button to make sure you never miss any of our future videos. And if you could also follow me on both Twitter and Instagram, it's Laus1507 on both of those platforms. I would massively appreciate that. Like I said, Laus1507, and the links are down in the description below as well. And also quick heads up, it seems like the pre-match press conference with Antonio Conte ahead of the Tottenham game on Sunday will actually take place tomorrow. No idea why, especially because, the game is only on Sunday. But it seems like it's happening tomorrow, so also my preview will be out tomorrow. So make sure you watch out for that. But now getting into the video and starting it off by speaking about our manager situation. And this question has been bugging us all for a while. I think we're all pretty sure that Conte won't be here next season, but we just don't know for sure, do we? While there are rumours that Conte's team has held talks with PSG representatives, it's also said that while Conte doesn't really want to stay, he doesn't just want to walk. And while the club apparently don't really want Conte to stay either, they don't really want to sack him. So, we're kind of in a pickle here. And I think I've mentioned this before. Unless PSG or a new club for Conte buys him out of his Chelsea contract or pays him a big sign-on fee, and then obviously Chelsea and Conte just agree to, part ways on mutual terms without any payouts, Conte might actually stay. Because you know how stingy we've been with transfers recently. We weren't willing to raise our bids by just a few million for the likes of Alexandro and Lukaku as well. But now we're willing to give Conte more than £10 million of a payout? I'm not sure about that. I'm not saying that we definitely won't sack Conte. Obviously not. But I'm saying it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't, because we don't want to spend on that payout and pay a new manager after as well. Because obviously the payout wouldn't be much more than obviously Conte's yearly salary anyway. But then, if you sack him, you pay him that payout, and then you have to, still pay the wages of a new manager. So, there comes a lot of money with it by sacking a manager and, getting a new one. But of course, there are still loads of rumours flying about who we would like to bring in or who we will bring in. Are we to part ways with Conte? Over the last few days, former Dortmund manager Thomas Tuchel has certainly, been leading the way in that respect. First, news came out that Tuchel has rejected an offer by Bayern Munich actually, and has instead held talks with both PSG and Chelsea quite recently. And German journalists have also reported that Tuchel has made quite the impression on Chelsea's Marino Granovskaya as well. Another name flying around is Leonardo Jardim, or however you pronounce his surname, the current Monaco manager. And of course also former Barcelona and Roma coach Luis Enrique has been mentioned quite a bit as well. While there have also been reports about Napoli's Maurizio Sarri, I think Sarri will actually stay at Napoli, as it looks like him signing a contract extension at Napoli is imminent. See, I'm not the biggest fan of Luis Enrique. He's done very well with Barcelona obviously, but he also had Messi, Suarez and Neymar and, the likes of Iniesta and all the other great players that Barcelona have and had. While at Roma and Celta Vigo, he's basically on the main two jobs, he really didn't do also well at all. And between Tuchel and Jardim, well, neither of them are the type of manager we're used to seeing at Chelsea. Proven winners with quite a bit of experience. Neither of them are that. Of course, Jardim has won the Ligue 1 last season and Tuchel has won the German Cup. But reports are saying that we as a club actually want to change our system now, want to build a philosophy as a club. Use the youth more and actually play some more attacking football as well and change the club as a whole. Because recently it's been like, the youth level usually play quite a different style of football to what the first team play, and that's obviously not really the point, because as soon as the youth team get to the first team, it's all a bit different, so it takes them longer to actually settle in and maybe get used to it. And if you all build it up as a whole, because our youth academy is incredible, one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, so you kind of should take advantage of that. And if the club as a whole wants to settle on a philosophy and employ managers that will suit their philosophy and sign players that suit their philosophy as well, that is in my opinion a good idea. To be honest though, I don't really have a big favourite between Tuchel and Jardim. They both have their pros, but they also both have their cons. What's most important though is that the new manager, if we get one, and the new technical director, who looks like it might be Luis Campos, who did a great job at Monaco, and the board are on the same wavelength. Because only if they all of those three compartments work together and have the same vision, can we move forward as a club properly. If they don't have the same vision, if they're not on the same wavelength, it doesn't really matter how good the manager is, it's just not going to work. Whether, we as fans agree with the philosophy that those three are trying to apply, whether it's defensive football or, stability or just signing big or building on the youth going forward, that kind of thing, that doesn't really matter. The point is that they have to work together, because if not, it's a lot of power struggles going on. There's a lot of, late decision making going on, because they just can't really decide on what we want to do. So that's the most important thing. We have to find a philosophy that the manager, the board, and the technical director all, work together with and all want. But leave me your thoughts. Do you think Conte will be gone in the summer? And who do you think and who do you want to come in instead if Conte does leave? Leave me all of that down in the comment section below. But now, continuing on with the video, the Chelsea ladies are playing the second leg of the Women's Champions League quarter-final against Montpellier tonight. We did win the first leg 2-0 away from home and are obviously then looking quite good to reach the semi-final tonight. To find out more about that, do make sure you check out Jeanne's preview for that game by clicking the card up there. She uploaded it last night, and she will also be doing a review after the game, and there should also be a vlog of her going to the game coming out, so definitely watch out for those videos as well. But now let's get into the international break, some injury news, and some comments made by Courtois and Eden Hazard this week. So let's start it off with the Belgians. They only played one friendly this week, unlike most other teams, and that was last night when they beat Saudi Arabia 4-0, with Eden Hazard starting the game and getting an assist as well. Michy Batshuayi came off the bench to replace Hazard and scored the third goal. Courtois wasn't involved after being sent back to Chelsea on Monday, I think it was, and apparently the reason he wasn't even on the bench against Leicester in the FA Cup was a minor hamstring problem. He still went away with Belgium, but only took part in individual training and treatment before, like I said, being sent back to Chelsea. Belgian manager Roberto Martinez said that he wouldn't have been fit for their game yesterday anyway, but looks good to recover in time for Chelsea's game against Tottenham on Sunday. During media duty, Courtois said that he's definitely staying at Chelsea next season and that he's proud to play for Chelsea, and said he wants his contract situation cleared up before the World Cup. Well, I've read that he said, well, whether that's with a new contract or not, it's kind of just journalists interpreting what he said, but that's not word for word what he did say. For me, we either meet his demands and give him a new contract, or we sell him this summer. Because we can't let happen what happened to Arsenal with Alexis Sanchez. He's only got just over a year left on his contract now, and Courtois is worth a lot of money in nowadays market, really. So if we don't get him to sign a new deal, I don't think we have any other choice but sell him this summer. So let's hope he does sign a new deal, because then we as a club are just on the safe side of things. Can keep him if he's happy to stay, but also sell him for big money if he desperately wants to leave, and that's obviously kind of the situation you want to be in as a club. And like I said, also Eden Hazard has made some comments and said he's also happy at Chelsea. He reiterated that he has 2 years left on his contract, and right now he's thinking about the rest of the season and then the World Cup. Then he will go on holiday and then return to Chelsea after that. If it was down to me, we'd also get Hazard to sign a new deal as soon as possible. Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens there anyway. Then let's talk about Denmark. But let's actually not, because Andreas Christensen was sent back to London with a minor injury problem at the end of last week as well. It didn't feature in any of their games. A Danish representative said that he took a minor knock and that it's more about fatigue rather than anything else, but also confirmed that it's nothing serious now, but could have gotten more serious if they didn't take the safe action of sending him back and just, sending him back to Chelsea for treatment. But if Christensen will be fit to face Tottenham on the weekend, we'll find out in a press conference tomorrow, hopefully. And while we're on injury news, it's also said that both Ross Barkley and David Luiz could be in contention to be fit for the Spurs game on Sunday. Again, probably find out more tomorrow. Now coming to Spain, where only Azpilicueta and for the first time ever Marcos Alonso were called up. None of Fabregas, Pedro and Morata were involved. Spain drew 1-1 against Germany, in which none of the Chelsea players featured. And last night, Spain actually beat Argentina, who were without Lionel Messi, 6-1. 6-1 is a massive scoreline and like an impressive, result for Spain. And a very damning, result for Argentina ahead of the World Cup, of course. And Azpilicueta in that game came on in the 72nd minute, and Marcos Alonso was subbed on in the 79th minute to make his Spain debut. So, congratulations to Marcos Alonso. Huge achievement for him, of course. And while we're talking about them, Willy Caballero was also called up by Argentina. I'm not sure whether that was his first call-up, but he certainly played his first ever game for the national team last Friday when they beat Italy 2-0. And he also came on in the 22nd minute for the injured Romero against Spain. And not a great day for Caballero, that, coming on at 1-0 down and then ending up losing the game 6-1. But except maybe for one of the goals, I don't think any blame can be put on the 36-year-old Chelsea keeper for that result at all, really. Antonio Rudiger was part of the Germany squad but didn't feature in their first game against Spain. Last night, though, he did play the full 90 minutes in Germany's 1-0 defeat to Brazil. Speaking about Brazil, Willian was of course called up and started both games as well. Like I said, in their second game they faced Germany and beat them 1-0. Willian actually assisted the only goal of the night for Gabriel Jesus, and coming very close to scoring himself, only denied by a Rudiger block while playing the whole game himself as well. And Brazil's first game during the international break brought a 3-0 win over Russia, in which Willian got another assist. He assisted the third goal and was also involved in the build-up for the first goal as well, before getting subbed off in the 80th minute. The other internationals were N'Golo Kante and Olivier Giroud for France, where Giroud scored in France's 3-2 defeat to Colombia to become France's 5th highest all-time goal scorer with 30 goals. Kante played the whole game while Giroud was subbed off after 73 minutes. and while they beat Russia 3-1 in their second game, with Conte playing for the first 66 minutes and Giroud coming on in the 72nd. Victor Moses and Chelsea loanee Ola Aina were involved with Nigeria as they beat Poland 1-0, with Moses scoring the only goal of the game from the penalty spot after actually diving himself to be awarded a penalty, which I'm not a fan of at all. He needs to stop doing that. You know, he did it in the FA Cup final last year. Please stop it, Victor. Just please stop diving. I don't like it. But the second game of the international break brought a 2-0 defeat to Serbia as Victor Moses was taken off at half-time. Davide Zappacosta was then the last Chelsea player on international duty with Italy as they lost, 2-0 to Argentina, like I said before. Zappacosta coming on with an hour played, and also they drew 1-0 against England last night with a very much talked about penalty equaliser by Italy as Zappacosta played the whole game. There was actually no Chelsea player involved in the England squad as both Gary Cahill and Danny Drinkwater were left out, and Ross Barkley, while he most likely wouldn't have been involved anyway, is of course still recovering from his injury. All of our players were on duty within Europe, this week, so coming back to Chelsea isn't really a big issue, and no one should struggle with jet lag or fatigue after a long trip, which is obviously good ahead of such a massive game on the weekend. And that's really it from me. Leave me all of your thoughts on our manager situation like I asked you to do earlier, as well as your thoughts on what happened during the international break with the comments of Courtois and Hazard, and also let me know how your teams performed this week. And like I said, the press conference ahead of the Spurs game is obviously taking place tomorrow, and we'll hopefully find out more about our injury situations with Courtois, Christensen, David Luiz, and so on. But yeah, like I said, that's it from me. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Don't forget to check out my social media, which is Laos5007 on both Instagram and Twitter. As you can see over here, I'd massively appreciate it if you could follow me over there. And like I said earlier, the links to it are down in the description below as well. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to 100% Chelsea if you haven't already. We would massively appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and I'll see you next time.